Aloha Leos! Today we're shooting your April 2016 videos from the magical Maui in Hawaii. And maybe you've heard before, but there is a legend that Hawaii used to be part of the ancient Lemurian continent where humanity started out first. Lemurian continent came even before the Atlantis continent. So that's a very mystical place, I would say. But anyway, what does April hold for you Leos? For anyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Leos? Well, actually April will be much more supportive for the fire signs, and Leo is one of the fire signs as well, because there is a lot of supportive planets in the other fire signs. The Sun and Venus will be in Aries, which is your 9th house of inspiration. So they're kind of, when the Sun goes in Aries and Venus, the planet of love and the planet of comfort, also goes into a fire sign, Leos in particular start feeling more alive. They wake up, the juices, the vitality starts flowing again. And the 9th house in particular is connected to seeing the bigger picture, to seeing how the puzzle fits in, to seeing if you've been bogged down in more negativity or difficult situations till April. Now it's as if you, like a bird, soar above the trees and you see the forest from the trees, and it starts making sense to you. So you start feeling more inspired, more alive. You start feeling more positive and optimistic, which is the 9th house. And you might even get inspiration from the universe in the form of signals, because the 9th house is how God talks to us, how our higher self talks to us and tries to give us direction towards the right path which is not based on our passions or our human understanding of the situation, but that is based on a higher perspective, which is best for our ultimate long-term happiness and fulfillment. So you might get inspirations in regards to where to go, what direction to take in your life, short-term or long-term. You might get an inspiration in different ways. Either you hear something on the TV, or you read something, or if you're thinking about some problem, someone can come across and give you a totally new perspective which broadens your horizons and your understanding of the current situation. If there was something that you were not very clear about, something that was torturing you, bothering you, and not finding meaning or reason why it's happening, when the Sun triggers your 9th house, this can be periods when you get to understand, when you get to see the meaning behind something painful or why something happened like that in your life. So you feel more connected to your purpose, you feel more connected to the higher purpose of life, that there is a flow, that there is meaning behind it in some way. And even if you're not spiritual, somehow you feel more optimistic in a way, and you start getting new ideas, new inspirations. And even the 9th house is connected to the person shifting gears somehow and pre-qualifying, for example. The 9th house rules us maybe seeing another perspective of what else we can be doing that is vocation for us, that is it's not directly connected to our career, but finding the meaning in something bigger, something that is more authentic for us. So there might be certain realizations as to what direction you to go, whether to pre-qualify, or what is the next step of the journey that can be revealed for you. It's also the Sun and Venus in a fire sign, especially in Aries, in the 9th house for you, indicates that April can be a month where you can travel, because 9th house rules faraway countries or foreigners. You can communicate with people that are from faraway countries, different cultural background, different ethnical background, different locational background, different hierarchical background. Even if they're not from a different country, these are people that have a very different perspective than you. And when you communicate with them, or maybe read a book from such a person, or with someone with a very different background, someone who can be almost like a mentor, advisor to you, and they reveal this bigger picture for you. And they expand horizons. So basically, if you're in some kind of business that's connected to working with foreign countries, with foreigners, working international trade or communications, or working with clients from different backgrounds, traveling in some way, or higher education, this can be quite an energized month because the sun vitalizes that area of your horoscope. You can be quite busy, new, refreshed ideas there. There might be some development in regards to something to do with travels or higher education, with Sun and Venus in your 9th house, some resolution of such complicated matter, because Venus is a benefic planet that resolves, that facilitates whatever house is transiting through, and the Sun gives you initiative to take charge yourself and to get some creative new ideas that will help you, for example, with higher education, with what's your purpose, with where, with traveling of some way, or with dealing with all those ninth house matters, foreign people or people that are with different social status than you, seeing things from a different perspective. And then Mars and Saturn are also in a fire sign, so that's supportive. It is supportive for the fire signs, for Leo in particular, when the two malefics are in another fire sign, because they're sending a trine aspect to you, Leos. So they kind of, even the baddies, as we call them, Saturn and Mars, are kind of supportive in April and even through May of the fire signs, because they're in another fire sign. So what does it mean? That those Saturn and Mars represent usually complications, difficulties, blockages, having to work very hard, having to put personal efforts, things that don't come to us easily, but we have to fight for, we have to put efforts, that we have to be criticized, our inner critic or outer critic that puts the focus in some direction or pushes us in that direction. But such kind of more difficult things will be in support of your mission. They're going to strengthen your resolve, your willpower in a sense, and it's not going to be with, even if some kind of critical authority figures appear right now, they're there to help you again. They're there, even if they look malefic or sound malefic and they're upsetting you in some way, they're kind of pushing you in the right direction again, because they're falling in your 5th house. And 5th house is again a dharmic house of purpose, of inspiration, of what you're here to do. One of the divine houses. But at the same time, there might be some complications in that area, because when we have two malefics in one house together, even though they will be supporting your overall goal in life and purpose, those complications that come, those baddies or difficult situations and stresses, at the moment they can feel stressful, because two difficult planets in your 5th house, Leos, can create complications in regards to 5th house matters. But again, I repeat, because it is in a harmonious aspect with the sign Leo, ultimately they will give you a favor, even if it feels stressful now. So where can those complications come? And especially because Mars is turning retrograde in your 5th house, Leos. So when a planet turns retrograde, and it's a difficult planet like Mars, and Saturn is there, a planet of tests, and Mars will require you to do it over and over, or to go over some past experiences in regards to 5th house matters, and to correct some past mistakes, and to bring to awareness those past mistakes. And 5th house is, first of all, love, relationships, and romance. These are, how do you open your heart to another? How do you date? What kind of people are you attracted to when it comes to falling in love? But these are relationships before getting married. Or if you're married, this is the romantic side, the heart side connection to your partner, the feeling of being in love with your partner. So lovers or feelings, romantic feelings, you will be doing some reassessment of those things, hard thinking about them. Because Mars will be retrograde for almost 2 months there in your 5th house. So there is a need to reevaluate, to go over, and even some kind of past romance can come to the surface. Well, either as memory that haunts you, or that you encounter again such a partner, so you can have some closure. Also, you can reevaluate and take stock of how you are allowing romance in your life, how you are allowing to connect to others emotionally and romantically, how you open your heart chakra. And there might be some hard realizations you have to do, and some changes, some breakthrough, because Mars is about breakthroughs that you have to do there, to change something, to transform something in a way. And it's advisable that you don't act with, in such matters, romantic matters, that you don't act rashly. Because Mars, when it's retrograde, we have to be more strategic. We have to be more calculative. We have to be more observant and researching, rather than do some rash actions that we might regret after that. And by the end of this process, when Mars starts moving forwards again, you'd have been able to create more solid foundations, more realistic and more healthy, so to speak, more efficient way of connecting on the romantic level with others. You might have cleaned up a few romantic relationships or romantic feelings that are not, that you have realizations that are not supportive of your life, for example. But the planets of retrograde, the energy of the planet intensifies, and especially Mars intensifying, it can create some power struggles, some confrontations there with such figures, and you becoming more strongly aware of their faults in a sense. This can create provocation in a way. And hopefully, if it's a good relationship, even though the period might be testing for a few months, after that you'll be able to bring it to a higher level, to a deeper emotional connection. And fifth house also rules our creative project. So if you have your own business, it's your own creative project. Even if it's not very creative business, it's still your baby, because fifth house also rules our children. Anything we create with our unique individual intelligence. So people that are self-employed or freelancing or have their own business or in any kind of creative center stage activities, whether it's oratorship, whether it's writing books, whether it's acting, singing, whether it's in fashion that they're, or whether it's in advertising, they have to come up with creative ideas, or they have their own business. There'll be a bit of pressure now there. There'll be like maybe extra deadlines that comes, because the Mars and Saturn together increases the pressure in that area of creativity, and there will be the demand on you to kind of really mobilize your resources there for a couple of months while Mars is moving backwards, because a retrograde planet, and Saturn will be retrograde in your fifth house as well for a couple, 2-3 months. So that requires extra hard efforts. When a planet goes retrograde, we have to put extra hard efforts, but the good thing is that by the time it starts moving forward, it gives 3 times more fruitful results. Because when we put more efforts in something, the results will be longer lasting and more fruitful. So, everyone is scared from retrograde planets, and they say, oh, you don't do anything on a retrograde planet. No, you work hard on a retrograde planet, and you're more careful, and you step more cautiously, and you go over things over and over again. Repetition. Retrograde planets require repetition, examining, fixing the problems. So you have to fix problems if something in your business not working, if something in your creative projects, you have to go over them a few times. Maybe you started some creative project that has to come back again to you, or something with your business that you have to work hard on. I'm a Leo moon, so for me, I already can feel how this is going to work out, because I started the project a year ago and I haven't finished it, and now I really have to edit it when Mars is retrograde, go over it a few times. And it's a very big creative project in me, an application that I'm creating, astrology one, and I've dedicated a year of it, and I've left it a bit behind, and now this is when I'm going to be putting it together to make the final product. So I have to be cautious, step by step, perfectionist, because Saturn requires perfectionism, doing things many times over, checking all the details, and there will be some stagnation. There will be definitely some hurdles that we'll have to overcome in such creative projects, or in our business that we're doing if you have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, and that you have to be extra cautious, but also you can be extra productive. Because when a planet goes retrograde, it intensifies in energy, and Saturn's energy is hard work, so it intensifies. The need to work harder intensifies, the need to put extra efforts intensifies. And Mars going retrograde is our physical energy, is our focus, is where we put our efforts again. It's where we might encounter certain problems that we have to fix, and we have to be more kind of inventive. And this will be required for you, but while Mars is moving retrograde, don't get disheartened. It's just a snag that you improve, and after that you have the final project or whatever it is you're doing, and you'll be feeling way more satisfied that you discovered those mistakes, that you are able to overcome them, and it will bring your project to a higher level, your creative project, or to a more perfected state, because Mars is the soldier. Mars is like the disciplinarian. That is, both Saturn and Mars are very disciplinarian planets that require from you powerful mobilization. But of course the snags can be there, and also in your romantic relationships those snags can come up, those problems of some sort that you have to deal with. And the fifth house also rules children or getting pregnant. You might have to overcome certain hurdles. You might have to do something about your health in regards to if you want to get pregnant in some way, or that to get yourself in hands to do the hard things that Saturn and Mars require. Otherwise there might be some blockages, or when it comes to your children, they might be going through a period of some maturation or the need for more hard work, some more stressful situation in their life for a few months, so you have to be there to support them, to work with them, to be more patient. The information about the key about Mars retrograde and Saturn retrograde is patience. Don't rush ahead. Take your time and keep this in mind, that the extra efforts and the extra difficulties that are required from you to overcome in that area of your life now will later on bring 3 times more fruitful and extra productive results in regards to the life of your children, in regards to, you know, whether it's creative projects or whether it's, you know, what else is 5th house? Romantic experiences and matters of the heart. But something will be changing there. Something you'll be seeing it from a different perspective in all those areas, which is actually, you know, it might feel hurtful at the moment, but and stressful and frustrating a little bit, and you might be feeling tough on yourself about that and criticizing yourself more. But again, it's trying to be supportive. The fire signs are trying to, you know, these planets are coming from a fire sign, so they're trying to put you on a more rightful path that is ultimately more happy for you. Anyway, so that's how I see Leo's 2016 April for you. Some people say I'm too negative. No, I'm not. I'm trying to be realistic, to show you the positive and negative, so you're prepared, so you don't lose your head stressing over such matters, and so you know how to proceed, what the strategy to be. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Facebook. My name there is Astrolada. Like my page and you'll receive daily updates. I post daily how the planets are moving, what's happening, updates for every sign. I don't do as many videos, but I post articles. I recommend psychics from all over the world, and I do free competitions to win free readings with me, because I know my prices can be sometimes more expensive. So I offer once or twice a month free readings with me, or free readings with one of my 20-30 exceptional psychics and astrologers that offer graciously to do a free reading for people who enter the competitions. So thank you very much. Follow me, and I will see you next month, Leo.